feeling anxious, overwhelmed, or uncertain about what's happening in the world, you're not alone. It's real. The economy is shifting, the cost of living is rising, and people are losing their jobs left and right. And when you turn on the news, it feels like it's only getting worse. But here's what I want you to know: you are not powerless in this season. And yes, I said season because, again, it doesn't last always, right? It's just a season in your life. And this is not the time to freeze in fear, because that's what the news outlets are here for us to do, right? It's a $1 billion industry meant to have us freezing in fear. But this is the time to move smarter, protect your future, and stay ahead. And so in this video, I'm going to be giving you real solutions, right? Practical moves that you can make today to take control no matter what's happening in the world. And if you're ready to turn uncertainty into opportunity, keep watching. Good morning and welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy Self Love Sunday. My name is Tarnisha Mosas. I am your host of Self Love Sundays with Sass, where we come every single Sunday to talk about all the ways in which you can better your best. And I get it. You didn't get a pay cut, but somehow your paycheck buys less than it did last year. I went to the grocery store yesterday. I'm sorry, it was Friday, and I felt the weight of that, right? And what that is, that's inflation at work, and it's a silent killer because slowly but surely, I remember when I would go to Costco and I would buy the bulk of tissue back in the day. Well, not even like I would say even a couple of years back. And that's that same roll of tissue that was $14 is now $20, right? The same with the soap, the same, because I usually buy in bulk. Okay. And so that same bars of soap that was $11 are now almost $20. And so you don't even realize, because slowly over time things just start to get more and more expensive. And here's the thing, right? Inflation just simply means, I should have explained that the prices go up, but your paycheck stays the same. Because the raises are not happening, right? Promotions are not happening. I happen to be in corporate America. I've been in corporate America now. It's 27 and a half years. And they're not, promotions are not happening. And if there is a raise, it's not enough to keep up with the cost of living, right? And here's another thing: $100 last year is worth about $92 this year. Like, just think about that, right? And here's the thing: when you hear all this stuff in the news about tariffs, and tariffs on imports means prices will rise even more, and companies are going to pass the cost on to you. It is just the cost of business. It is really, that's how business is, right? So what we want to do, right? So how can we get into action? We want to do an inflation flip strategy, right? So we're going to try to make rising costs work for you. So what that means is, right, for me, it meant stocking up on the essentials before the prices rise further. And I know there are some things you just can't stock up on, but for those things that you can, that's what you want to do, right? You want to try to get ahead of the game. You want to look for sale prices on things. So when I generally go to shop, I try not to pay, retail. Even when I'm going to places like Costco, I try not to pay, normal price. I try to get the paper ahead of time and get the sale prices, because again, I'm trying to beat the inflation, right? We know it's going to happen, and there are certain things that you can do, and sometimes you have to switch to cheaper alternatives, right? So now that's what I'm talking about, right? Shopping on a discount, buying local. And for some people that means secondhand, goods. And what I mean by that is, looking for, if you need electronics, or your washer, your dryer, your fridge, anything like that, breaks down, looking for alternative ways. And again, this is only during the season. It doesn't have to be forever, but these are things that you can do now that help you as costs continue to rise. And if you have savings, move it into a high yield savings account, right? You should be moving into at least an account that's earning 4.5% or higher, versus, because a traditional bank, what is it, like 0.01% maybe, right? So you want to look at that. And I don't want to say if you have savings. I'm telling you that now cash is going to be king, and you should be looking into how much you can save per paycheck. And I understand that things are going up, but this is why when we start to work on the inflation flip, where we're looking to reduce our costs, looking to get things cheaper, meaning on sale, looking at alternative methods, that money that you would normally spend, we have to figure out a way to get it into savings. Because Wealth isn't just about making money, it's about outsmarting the system. A lot of times people think people who have money, they just go into the store and they can buy whatever they want. A lot of those people are on budgets. They really are. I remember Cardi B, talking about that, and people were saying, oh, you can just go get whatever you want. And she's like, I'm on a budget. That's how you keep your money. Okay. And I get it. Companies are laying people off in droves, but there are certain ways you could try to protect yourself. The job market is shifting fast, right? And so if you know your role can be outsourced, automated, or replaced, you know that you're at risk, right? And so what's happening? Companies are cutting workers to save costs and prepare for the economic downturns. I mean, people, we don't ever want to do the fear tactics. We're in a recession. However, and you can look at all the writing on the wall, right? We know that AI and automation are replacing jobs, especially in customer service, retail, and even in corporate roles, right? And people keep saying, like there are certain jobs that robots won't be able to take over. Well, I just saw a video the other day where they had a robot doing a roofing job. So we know that these things can happen. So what are some things that you can do? People who survive are the ones that make themselves irreplaceable, right? So what is it that we can do? You can do a two-job strategy, right? So if you have a job, keep it, but start building your backup income now. So that could look like you learning a new skill, you learning how to fix the robots, right? Like you learning how to program the robots that are coming. Like there are so many different things that you can get your hand into, and I get it. Let me just say this. If you are 40 and up, you're like, I don't want to go and learn a new thing. And I understand that, right? But there are going to be some things, right, when we talk about in the health industry where you can, maybe it's a time for you to, if you had interest in that, to get into that. I mean, like to some degree, they have all sorts of robotic things. But here's what I know about people: people love the feel of a person. So, getting into the health and nutrition space may be a place for you to get into. You're going into people's homes because people want the touch. They don't like the coldness of the robot. However, we understand that companies are going to be using them because again, they believe that it's going to save them money, right? So learning how to fix the machines, washers and dryers and all those things. They may have a robot that can come in, but somebody has to know how to fix and program the robot, right? So just having your mind thinking about those things while you're in your career now. I'm going to tell you the one thing that I learned after being in corporate America for 27 and a half years. Don't give any company 90 to 120% of you and not take yourself and put and do something for you on the other end. I wished all the energy and love that I put into corporate America, I would have did that and started to build my business 20 years ago. Lord knows where I would be and what I would have and how I would be living if I would have did that, instead of putting my time into a company to where now they're like, we don't care about you, right? And here's the truth of the matter: they never really did. But when you're young and you first go, when I was young, the family feel, and you think about the amount of money, they call them the golden handcuffs and the benefits, you don't see it that way. And if you're somebody who's younger, and I'm going to tell you what, even if you're in your 40s, it's never too late, right? So I want you to start thinking about that. How can you build something for yourself, right? Look for bridge jobs that provide fast income, weekend gigs. So that's a bridge job. Things you can do in a remote customer service, tutoring. Tutoring will never go out of style. I mean, I know that listen, you can try to hire a robot to tutor your kid all you want. However, here's the thing: if that could, teach our children, then they would have learned already. Why? Because they have the tablets and things already, and it's not necessarily helping, right? So you want to look at service-based businesses if you're going to do that, where it still requires the touch of a human. Okay, I don't care what anybody say. Mental health and awareness in helping women and men to design a life that they love, that's not never going to go out of style. So for me, that's where my business is. It's not, people are always going to need community. So you want to start to think about those kind of things, because again, all of the stuff that's happening in this world is impacting their mental, spiritual, and emotional health. And if you listen, the one thing that I desire to help people understand is you have to find a problem and be a solution to it, and not just be a problem for a problem. I've decided I want to be a solution for a problem for many people, which is helping them to design a life that they love so they can start loving the life that they live. Okay, so I want you to start to think about that, because if layoffs are hitting your industry, You got to start applying now for jobs before the job market starts. Well, it's already flooding, right? So we know this. So here's the thing: while you're in your career right now, if you know that your job may be impacted, start looking for something now. Don't wait for the impact. Now, here's the thing: I understand that people love to wait for severance. I understand that, especially when you spent 20 years or more in a career in an industry. I understand that. And still in that, you want to start to see what's out there, what's in the field. If especially if you don't want to be an entrepreneur, because I get it, not everybody wants this smoke. And because literally being an entrepreneur, yes, it's a roller coaster ride. It's satisfying, and at the same token, building a business is tough, right? Here's the thing: what's tougher, building somebody else's business and you and having nothing? That was my mindset in that. But start to look now. What's coming up in the industry? Where can you land? Wisdom is everything. Okay. And I'm just gonna say this: the worst time to look for a job is when you need one. You have to move before the storm hits, because what happens is we get into desperation mode, and then then we're in this, in survival, and we're just take anything, and then we're consistently miserable. The worst time to look is when you need it. You have to get ahead of the game. That's the name of the game. You got to get ahead of it. You got to think two steps ahead. Okay. So now that you know how to stop losing money, because in a sense, that's what we were talking about, let's talk about how you can actually get ahead financially. Okay. Move number one, we call it the 7-20-10 rule: stretch your income. 7-20-10. Okay. Most people don't even use their money wisely. And because you have to get honest. If you're not real, you're not going to heal. Okay. You don't need to make more money. You need to manage smarter. Okay. So 70% is essentials. That means, mortgage, rent, food, transportation, right? 20% growth, investments, debt payoff, and savings. 10% emergency fund. Okay. Start with $500 and build from there. And I know there may be some people that they're watching. I was like, I don't even have $500. Well, here's what I need you to do. I need you to get into your closet. I need you to look around for things that you are literally not using. Stop wasting your money on junk. And let me tell you this: please hear me when I say this. I understand that it feels like things are tight already and you have to get a little bit tighter with canceling subscriptions and things of that nature. Here's what I'm going to tell you: I did all of that for a season till I got myself to a place where I was debt free. Now, I'm going to tell you, am I in that place now? No. Why? I decided to invest in me and my business. So I'm in a different season. But when I was in that season of paying everything off to get myself to cash and carry, I had to give up a lot of things. I did it for a year. You can do anything for a year. For 1 year, cut the Amazon spending. For 1 year, cut the excessive. Listen, go eat everything in your cabinet. Most people don't do that. I can go in people's cabinet. Most people don't. Okay. And again, if you're struggling and you know this video isn't for you, then please don't take this personal and say, well, I don't do that and I can't put food on the table. I'm going to tell you the truth of the matter. I was a mother who had 6 children. I have 5 living now. I understand that we always overspend, especially when it comes to our kids. It's there. We just don't see it because we can't get out of our own way. We can't get out of our own way. It's there. I can go in people's garage and it's piled full of things. And it's like, let's get to selling these things. Let's get on Facebook Marketplace. Let's get to, get into secondhand shops. I know it seems tough in the middle of the storm. And I'm going to tell you that if you have to remember that the storm doesn't last always. You don't have to be rich to manage your money wisely, but you'll never be rich if you don't. 70-20-10. 70 essentials, 70% of your pay, 20% you have to start putting your money in places that grow. I'm not here to give you financial advice. I'm here to tell you what I've done and what's working for me. Okay. And I get that it's going to be tight while the kids are young, and you can still do this. And you may want to reach out to a financial advisor. I have an excellent person who came into my life who, again, is like me. He is a servant leader, which means he's not interested in just taking people's money. He's more interested in helping you get to where you need to be, to where, so that if anything happens in your life, you are secured from beginning to end. Okay. So that's rule number one. The very first thing is, the first money move, 70-20-10 rule. Okay. You have to get smarter in this season and know that it's a season. Even if you have to cry through it, because I cried through it. And I'm going to tell you what helped me in the season when I was doing it. My foundation. I had to get a firm foundation in God. I had to plant my feet and I had to get into the word and I had to get into God during this season. Now I'm still doing that. And I'm here to tell you that it helped me get through. It helped me get through. There was a Christmas when I wanted to buy this townhouse that I lived in. I had to tell my kids, hey, listen, I'm not going to be able to, under the things on the tree is not going to look good because I'm buying a townhouse. It was a season. It was a season, right? I cried through it. I felt bad. Of course, I'm a mom. I want my kids to have all the things that they desire to have. Not to impress other people, but because I love my children. I hate when people say that people want to get things to impress. I wasn't trying to impress anybody. I wanted my kids to have what I didn't have, and I wanted them to experience what it felt like to get up on Christmas morning and have all the things. Did I know that wasn't what Christmas was about? Sure, I did, and it still didn't take away from the fact that I wanted my kids to have it, and that's okay. That is all right. And for that season, I couldn't do it. Okay. So what's the next thing? Cash flow shift. Okay. So if your money disappears before you even touch it, you have a cash flow problem. Okay. So you're going to have to start calling your service providers, your internet, your phone, your insurance, negotiate lower rates. I literally just did it for my homeowner's insurance. They were actually trying to, raise it to like $5,000. I got on that phone and negotiated it back down to $3,500 for the year. Get on the phone. I had people in my community calling their creditors, getting lower interest rate, getting on different type of payment plans. Now is the time to do it. Okay. Also, looking at those subscriptions. Listen, if you don't have an emergency fund, you may can't have Hulu or Netflix. That $20, and you may think that's not a lot of money, put it in the right account and let it compound, it will become a lot. If you don't have an emergency fund, I'm sorry, boo, you can't afford the Netflix. You can't afford the Hulu, and I get it. You might have to watch Tubi for a while. Okay, you might have to go to Peacock where it's $5.99 or $7.99. I get it. Or go to or YouTube. Or how about take your time, come step away from all that, get into Chat GBT and start to learn a new skill. Right? Take away the TV for a minute. Again, just for a season. Now, if you have children, understand that that's not possible because kids are going to be kids. However, we can start to look at, all right, like in my house, I can actually afford it, but we only have one. It was like you have to choose. Either you want Hulu or you have Netflix, but we are not having both in here. Why? Because I desire to retire and not have to eat cat food. Okay. So we just have Netflix. So again, these are the things that I did. All right. So also switch to bi-weekly loan payments to cut interest further. Okay. But not all creditors will allow you to do that. But if you can, do that, right? If you're paying, if you have any type of loan, okay, try to switch to bi-weekly loan payments, okay? Lastly, if you have credit card debt, call now and negotiate a lower APR. For those of you who are homeowners, you may want to look into a HELOC, home equity line of credit, and use the HELOC to pay off that debt. But here's the thing, we're not getting the HELOC to pay off the debt because, like right now, I actually just did that because a HELOC, you'll get anywhere between 4.99 and 5.99 interest rate is if you're working with a credit union and you have good credit. And what that will do is pay off that 28-30% interest that maybe you're paying on the car loan and maybe that you're paying on your credit cards. But here's the thing, you have to get disciplined. You can't go and do the HELOC to pay it off, and then next thing you know, now you owe the creditors and the home equity line. You can't do that. And if you're not disciplined to do it on your own, again, get yourself in a community that's going to help you to become disciplined. Okay? Because I'm telling you right now, cash is going to be king. You cannot be in a crap ton of credit card debt and think you're going to survive what's about to happen. Okay? And this is not about fear, this is about preparation. Proper preparation prevents poor performance. Say it to yourself 5 times over. You're going to get tongue tied and it's going to help you. I'm trying to help you get prepared for everything that's happening. All right. The biggest wealth leak LEAK, because I know I talk fast, isn't always your paycheck. It's where your money flows after you get paid. Where is your money going to? Do you know all the places it's going to? Why is it that you don't have anything to save? What is in the way? I need you to look at where your money is going to. Look at every nook and cranny. Some people have subscriptions they don't even realize. Apple Music, Apple this, Apple that, and I get it. You're like, it's only $10. Well, if you don't have at least $5,000 in savings, that $10 can go there. And you may think that $10 don't do anything. You got to look at the compound effect of it all. It matters. It matters. Okay. It matters. So what's the money move number three? So remember, the first money move was the 70-20-10 rule, right? 70% essentials, 20% growth, 10% emergency fund. Second, cash flow shift. Call those providers. Switch to biweekly loan payments if you can. If you have credit card debt, get on the phone, negotiate your APR. Next thing, okay? Most people only save for emergencies, but if you want to win, you need money to be ready for opportunities. You have to have money ready for opportunities. Now I've got myself to a place where I have money ready for opportunities, right? Things that are come my way, maybe investments, real estate, which that's kind of going to be my next move, for me personally. When I say I got myself ready, meaning that mindset, setting myself up now with this fund for this year. I'm going to be working to get myself to a lower debt payment, because there's good debt and bad debt, right? Lower debt payment, so I can start investing in the real estate by next year, because the market is really going to flip. That's just me. That's just how I think. You don't have to think that way, nor do you have to get into real estate. But for those who do, that's just where my mind goes. Why? It's sad to say it, but with everybody losing their job, this is how the rich get richer, right? They looking at the opportunities. Where can I invest at, right? Going into looking into rental properties, right? For the 6 unit buildings, things like that. Maybe you can't do it on your own, but you have enough money to go in it with somebody else, go in it with your family, maybe pulling together as a family, getting a trust and doing something like that, right? And I know people are like, wow, how do you think? You got to start thinking big. Just because you don't have it today don't mean that you can't start preparing for that, right? Start a flex fund, $20 to $50 a week for opportunities, right? Investments, business, learning a new skill. Investing in yourself is the biggest flex. I went and paid, for coaching. Listen, you don't even want to know. Right? But I invested in myself. Why? Because I plan on having a business. I want to learn new skills. I want to be able to outlast whatever is happening in the world. The economy is changing fast. You have two choices. Either you can struggle to keep up or get ahead before it's too late. The choice is yours. And here's the thing is, I'm going to say this because somebody may be watching and saying, well, it's too late for me. It's never too late. You got to start to shift how you're thinking. It's the mindset. I have somebody right now. It's like, sometimes it just drives me crazy because people can't hear themselves. If I don't do this, I don't do that, it doesn't work. Da, da, da. And I'm like, no, it's your mindset and you don't want to believe it. Well, I can show you the money, and I can show you right now in your house where you have a million things that you don't use, that you could take the opportunity to sell it, to get rid of it, to stop buying and purchasing things that don't matter, and stop, like, literally, literally. I can show people, I can come into their house and show them so much money, but because they think that they need certain things, or because they think that kids should have certain things, they don't see it. And so when an opportunity comes, they can't even be ready. But I want you to start to get yourself ready. That's how wealth is built. It's that people go have opportunities come. Okay. And so I hope that this video served you today. I hope that you can look at some of these money moves and see it. Because again, you may can't do all three, right? You may can't do all three, but maybe you can do one of the two. Remember, we got the 70-20-10 rule, okay? 70% essentials, 20% growth, 10% emergency fund. We have cash flow shift. Get on the phone tomorrow. Make it your mission for the month of March to march your tail on that phone and start to call these people all month long to set yourself up better. And wherever you start to get relief in your money, you want to take that and either start to pay down your debt or start putting some into an emergency fund. Okay. And then that way you can get to money move three. Because I understand not everybody can get there, but if you are able to get there, get yourself a flex fund. That fund is just strictly for an opportunity that may come, an opportunity to invest in yourself, an opportunity to invest in your business, an opportunity to invest in real estate. Because I'm telling you, real estate going to be the move. The opportunity to invest in stocks, right? And these are things, maybe that's the skill that you start to learn. Okay. So if you're ready, I want you to put in the comments, I choose power. If you're done letting fear control you and just control your life and being scared of everything that's coming on the news. And I want you to type in the comments that I choose power if you're ready to step into your money game. And if you're ready to start looking at your money, seeing everywhere that it goes. Because here's the thing. Why am I telling you to type I choose power? Because the power is with you. You can change it. You can change your life. You can step into this with greatness. All you have to do is to start to shift your mindset. Get yourself around a community of like-minded people. Get yourself into the word and help so it can help you mind, body, listen, mind, body, and soul. While you're in this season of maybe it feels a little bit tight. And why do I say body? I want you to start walking, because sometimes that energy that's sitting in you, I need you to start moving your body. Okay, walking is free. Start to walk and think. Start to think bigger. Get in chat GBT. Let it help you think bigger if you need help and assistance in this area. Okay, I want you to look at your finances. Call those creditors. Okay, you can do this. The power is with you. I want to build a community of people who take action and not panic. And I'm going to say it again. I desire to build a community, whether my free community here on YouTube, or whether you decide to join me in my paid community, 1% Nation. I want to build a community of people who decide to take action and not panic. Okay. And if this video has provided you clarity today, if this video has served you today, please like, share, and subscribe. Please share with somebody else. I am going to come every single Sunday and let you know I am looking to grow my YouTube channel. So please share it, because I desire to help people design their life to win. And that's exactly why I wrote a book doing that. Okay. So again, please, like, share, and subscribe. And I hope you have the most amazing, amazing Sunday. And I will talk to you next week. Bye now.